Today I'm going to Disneyland and I'm so hecking excited, and I'm going alone for the first time ever to like Disney, so I'm pretty stoked about that because it's gonna be kind of a new and maybe a weird experience. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I even got my Minnie Mouse socks on.
These are old socks, so they look all dusty.
Okay, time to get on our way now.
So here I am on my way to Disneyland, and on the way, very excited as you can tell, but also quite anxious and nervous because I didn't know how to go about my trip being alone. The first thing I did when I got there was hit up the store because the park wasn't open yet. I bought the 40th anniversary mini ears, looked at all the other pretty things they had, and went on my way to line up to get into the park, and there were tons of people. A lot of couples too, so it for sure made me notice my loneliness, but actually I was alone, but I didn't ever really feel lonely. I actually felt really calm and whole. Being amidst the sea of people made me realize that I shouldn't feel so conscious about myself as a solo Disneyland goer because I'm sure there's other people doing the same, and I feel like something that was holding me back from doing this was the thought that other people might judge me for going alone, but I really don't think anyone around me cared or even thought about it. I'm on the way to the castle, and I realized that the first drawback of going to a theme park alone is that I have no one to take pictures of me. Selfies are practically my only option, and I get kind of shy and embarrassed to ask people to help me take pictures, which I know I shouldn't overthink, but anyways, the castle was super pretty, and I just stared at it in awe for a bit before I went on my way. I felt like being alone made me really take everything in and pay close detail to my surroundings, and I felt like I could appreciate the little things about the park, like the beautiful mosaics, the perfectly trimmed topiaries, and all the thought and care put into the architecture. One thing I really enjoyed about going alone was that I could go at my own pace. I could go wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and never felt rushed or like I was rushing others. So the first ride or experience I went on was Stitch's Encounter, and I went to this first because I was actually trying to kill time while I was waiting for my scheduled ride. Once I lined up, I realized what I was in for, and it's like Turtle Talk with Crush, which is an interactive talk show, and being in Japan, the talk show was obviously going to be in Japanese. So I couldn't really understand what he was saying, but honestly, I still had fun, and it was enjoyable to watch because I could pick up some words, and the Stitch actor did a great job at being so expressive and engaging. After this, I went to go get my first snack because I hadn't eaten anything in the day yet, so of course I had to try the famous alien mochis. I've seen these on social media for so long, and I've always wanted to try them, and they're really yummy. But here's another drawback of being alone. I have no one to share my food with, and if I'm eating, it's kind of more like a sit down and eat rather than walking to the next ride to eat because of just having to hold a bunch of stuff. And also, I love sharing my food so that way I don't get too full on one thing and I can try more food, but obviously since I'm alone, I had no one to share with, and I hate wasting food, so I try to make it a point to eat like everything of what I buy. Anyway, the mochi was really good. There was 3 flavors, strawberry, chocolate, and vanilla, and my tummy was really happy. So on to the next ride. We're going on Star Tours now, and it feels like the same from other Star Tours in Disney parks from what I can tell, but I always forget that this ride gets me a little motion sick. I don't know why, but it's really only this ride, but I always kind of ride Star Tours because the line's always short, and I got the front seat on the right too, so it was quite close to the screen. I don't know why there's always a really short line for Star Tours. I don't know if people aren't that interested in it, but yeah, I just kind of always go on it just because that way I feel like I did something too. Now, this is the ride I've been waiting to go on for so long. This is the Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast, and let me tell you, this ride was magical. I'm literally getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So I actually got the priority pass for this, which you have to pay, but your queue ends up much shorter, and I figured I had to do it because I'm alone and I didn't really want to queue up for an hour and a half by myself, which is another sad part about being alone, is that I'm really just with myself in the lines, but that also means I have more time to appreciate how much thought the Imagineers put into making the queue a part of the experience. But yeah, I had no one to talk to, so it kind of makes time go by really slowly, and you know, I only have 1 battery pack, can't let my phone die that fast. So anyways, the ride was so beautiful and so immersive. I really felt like it was real. You sat in giant cups that can fit like 6 to 8 people, I think, per cup, and the way it moved was just so much fun. The Beauty and the Beast animatronics looked great, and the sets were stunning. The music was perfect, the timing was perfect, the movement was perfect, everything was spectacular. And I don't even know what to say about this ride anymore because I get speechless. I mean, when I remember it, it's just like, wow. I mean, look at this transformation. Like, I had to rewatch the video I took like a bunch of times to try to understand how they did it, even though I know it ruins the magic for myself, but I was just so curious and amazed that I had to know, and I still don't really get it. All the hype for this ride definitely earned in my opinion, and I'd for sure come back to ride it again. Now, it's time for another snack. I went to Le Taverne de Gaston to get myself a hunter's pie, which has beef stew inside, and it was super duper tasty. The pie was hot inside, and it was so perfect for the fall weather. Off to Toontown. So I don't usually go to Toontown because usually when I go to Disneyland with people, they want to skip it because it's kind of like the kiddie area, which means no crazy rides. But since I was alone, I could do whatever I wanted, and so I wanted to spend some time in this fun little area. I find Toontown so fun because everything looks so animated and curvy and silly. I rode Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin, which was fun, but I didn't take much videos of it because it was mostly dark inside. But it was a fun story ride, and after, I went to check out Chip and Dale's treehouse and got a great view of Toontown. On to my next ride, the famous It's a Small World. I don't know why, but every time I go to Disneyland, this is a must ride, even though it's not particularly one of my favorites. I guess one thing that's really fun for me is always trying to find where the Philippine doll is, but my favorite displays on this ride were the Hercules doll, the Lilo and Stitch doll, and of course, the Little Mermaid. And just in time, I made it for the parade. I love parades so much because of all the costumes and the dancing and the music. It's so fun just getting to see some of my favorite characters, and there's something so healing about it. I feel like some people think that these things are so childish, but to me, it's really art. There's so many actors and dancers working so hard to give a convincing performance, and the floats are so creative, and there's so much visual stimulation. One of my favorite floats was the Incredibles float because look at this huge Jack Jack. It is so adorable. I'll forever love parades because of how magical they are, and if you like parades, there's going to be another one later on in this video. So after the parade, I wanted to get a little snack because I was already in the area and I wanted to try this. It's a pork rice roll, and I thought it was just a bit too salty, but I like salty food, so it was fine. But yeah, I still really liked it. Then over to Skipper's Galley for a teriyaki chicken leg because why not? When at Disney, eat Disney food, am I right? So next, I watched Mickey's Magical Musical World, which is a fantastic show. Obviously a very musical experience, and it's, in my opinion, a must-watch when you're at the park. I couldn't take any videos of this because it was a show, but trust me when I say you have to go. My next ride was Monsters, Inc. Ride and Go Seek. I just adored this ride because I really felt like I was in the movie. Where you queue up looks just like the lobby's office, and how the ride worked was so much fun. I didn't record much in this ride because I wanted to enjoy it, but basically you shine your flashlight at the monsters' hats to make the monsters do something fun. The animatronics were so special and so full of life. This is definitely one of my favorite rides from today. Also, the line wasn't too long, so it was just nice. Oh, I also went for a little snack stop. I got the 40th anniversary pistachio popcorn, which honestly were just okay. The taste was a bit too artificial for me, so I wasn't the biggest fan. But the afternoon in the park felt so serene and relaxing. It was nice just to take a stroll at a slow pace and just feel present and in the moment. Next is a ride that I've never really waited long for in line 2, which is Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why this line always kind of just goes fast. I don't know if people don't want to ride this or if people are just used to it. I have no clue, but usually I ride this to rest when I've been walking the whole day because it's a quite long ride and it's also cold. Plus I like the smell of amusement park water. I don't know why, but it's a very normal Pirates ride. It's not like the one in Shanghai Disneyland. And of course I had to ride Space Mountain. I got to use the 40th anniversary fast pass for this, so I didn't have to wait in line long, which was really nice, and the ride was fun as always. I think my favorite Space Mountain is from Disney World in Florida, but they're all really great. Plus, this Space Mountain is still the old one. It's not Hyperspace Mountain, which I think they're renovating it soon. Disneyland is so beautiful at night because of all the pretty lights, and you know what has a lot of pretty lights is the electrical parade. This parade is so much fun. The floats are incredible and so entertaining, and watching these parades really made me feel like my inner child was healing because all I felt was joy and happiness while I was standing and staring at these beautiful works of art stroll by. I get really emotional when it comes to nostalgia, and I feel like it's because we're constantly being told to grow up and that these things are for kids, but for me, growing up is getting to shamelessly be myself and like the things that I want to like, not caring about what others might think. Growing up is just being myself and being proud about being myself. So the parade ended, and I wanted to get my last snack in because the food stores were all closing pretty early, so I got a churro, and it's just a classic churro. It was yummy. I got to squeeze in a couple more rides before the park was closing, like the Jungle Cruise, which I always enjoy because even though the animals are fake, they're still really fun to look at. And I went on Pinocchio's Daring Journey, which I had never ridden before, and I'm glad I tried it, but it was actually kind of scary and creepy. Rides that I didn't get to go on that I really wanted to was Pooh's Honey Hunt and the Happy Ride with Baymax, because the lines of the two were long and they were paid fast pass, so maybe I'll go next time when I go back. And that's it. It's time for the park to close. But before it was time to leave, I sat on the bench just to enjoy the music, the weather, and that popcorny amusement park smell. Even though I wanted the day to last forever, it's time to go home. That was my solo trip to Tokyo Disneyland. Would I go to another Disney park alone? Yes, actually I would. The great thing about being alone too is that I get to check out a lot of the shops that I wouldn't normally even step in, like the perfume shop. I bought 2 perfumes, and I also bought a Max plushie on my way out. But of course, I'd rather go with family and friends. There's nothing better than enjoying the things you love with the people you love. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.